Full pads were on today, Coach. Hitting was increased. I think that's fair to say. It got a little physical at times, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought we had a good practice. We've been bouncing around real well. I thought we started slow, but I thought we picked it up and finished pretty well at the end and had pretty productive work. A lot of guys kind of showing up doing some good things.
Let me ask you about two names that I'm not sure fans are too familiar with. Marcus Strong, who plays on the boundary as a cornerback, and Dylan Sherman, who's also a new name, guy who plays maybe that linebacker position. Let's start with Marcus. Who is Marcus Strong? What kind of player is he?
Real fast, fast guy. Occasionally over pursues, but just a real talented guy that's continued to get better. And so, we're real optimistic about this camp, and he had a real good spring, so he's kind of building off of that.
And then Dylan Sherman, who was getting some action there with, I don't know if the depth chart's even set yet, ones or twos or whatever you want to call it, but he was getting some meaningful reps in the team action. Who's Dylan Sherman?
Well, we're really just kind of looking to see what Dylan Sherman can do. I mean, we think he's going to be a pretty good player, but we haven't seen enough of him to really make a consistent determination. But, the thing is get him in there and see what he can do. He does good in drill work, so see what he can do with 11.
This year in particular is useful for you for guys like that, like those two names that haven't played as much in games, guys like that, because a lot of these positions, nothing is set, but there's a lot of experience coming back. So you kind of need to figure out who's going to translate from Thursday night football last year to maybe a meaningful set of snaps in game action this year, right?
Well, we're a weird combination of experience because we've got a lot of guys that played snaps, played in games in youth. So we're still pretty young. I mean, and, usually when you're young, you don't have a lot of experience. But despite the fact we're young, we've got some experience because, we threw them out there to the Wolves, and they battled pretty well, and most of them came out unscathed last year.
Yeah, there's a pretty big gap there between those guys coming back who've played and maybe some guys without experience. At linebacker, we know for sure you've got kind of the usual suspects. Peyton Pleur, who's one of the league's leading tacklers for years now. One of the guys who hasn't played a lot, another name is Jihad Woods, and he was a Thursday Night Football guy for a while, I think. We've seen some of the Thursday Night Football stars play really well in games, James Williams being one of them from a couple years back. So how's Jihad Woods been?
Jihad's, Jihad's a really good player. Jihad, two things. One is he's kind of a thick guy, but he's deceptively quick. He's deceptively fast. He moves better than you think he does. And then the other thing is he's a pretty instinctual guy. Makes a lot of plays, and he's kind of a guy that'll sneak up on you, and all of a sudden, who made that? And after a while, it's Jihad Woods over and over.
Fair to say that Jihad sort of has that Peyton Pleur body type. He's a real thick. He's not 6'5" or anything. He's a thick linebacker like Peyton is.
Built kind of like Peyton, and I think Peyton is a really good example, a really good guy. For him to come up under and to watch play. Jihad's a little faster than Peyton.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it, as always.
All right, thanks.